darkness and light. Into the chaos of the feudal era, the sacred jewel brings a group of strangers together.
500 years across time, their destinies are controlled by the few remaining shards of the jewel.
Feudal fairy tale, InuYasha.
All right, we're going right into it because we're warmed up.
Round 2. My name is Shang.
My name's Luffy.
And welcome to
Anime Rewind. Welcome everybody to a special Anime Rewind retrospective piece where we will be debriefing and just talking about how we feel about InuYasha, the series in detail. And later, we're going to be spending some time reflecting on season 1 of Anime Rewind. I feel so complete finishing InuYasha. Not only just completing the series, but also just finishing a season of Anime Rewind. Like, I don't really feel sad that InuYasha is over. Because technically it's not, but like I don't feel sad that the series is over. But like I just feel a sense of like pride and accomplishment.
See, you feel that. I just feel betrayed.
What do you feel so betrayed about?
That's not how I wanted things to end.
Shang, things don't have to end. All you gotta do is boot up that Hulu and start watching InuYasha the final act.
Yo, man, why can't everything just be like One Piece, just never ending,
Dude, if InuYasha never ended, I would be totally fine with that.
Oh, God. So many stories.
Let me do a little bit of hyping up for you. I started watching InuYasha the final act. It hits the ground running, Shang. The animation is movie quality right away. Everything moves so quick. You get some of the most emotional story beats right off the bat. It's a good series.
Ooh.
You gotta start watching it, Shang. You will cry your eyes out.
Wait, hold on.
Clannad level of crying.
Hold on. That's not what wait, what?
Like, Shang, remember when I told you that I cried at the end of 163 with Kohaku and Sango?
Yeah.
I bawled my eyes out in one of the early episodes of InuYasha the final act.
I don't think okay, I'll watch it, but I'll take a long time to watch it because when I get to episodes like that, it takes about like 3 days to get through. Because once I hit that episode, you don't have no idea. When I watched Clannad, that it hit me like a train. I couldn't watch anime for like a good month.
All right, well, so why don't we talk a little bit less about the final act and go back to InuYasha the series?
Sure.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your rewatch of InuYasha?
I give it an 8.
I would give it like a 7.5, to be honest. The filler killed it for me real bad, but the ending was good. It near the last 40 episodes, it came back and it was good again.
I will say that yes, the filler was horrendous at times. When the story stayed true to the main story, it was good.
That is true. Something I did to prepare for this episode, Shang, was I actually went back and listened to our very first episode where we kind of talked about InuYasha before we actually started watching it. Mm-hmm. And in that episode, we also rated InuYasha from how we felt about it from a nostalgic standpoint. Mm-hmm. And Shang, you rated InuYasha an 8 out of 10. You are a consistent person.
Whoa, man, nothing has changed. I'm not too sure if that's a good or bad thing.
Now, I rated it an 8.5, so my ranking dropped by a point, but I have a justification. When I was a kid, I only watched InuYasha 1 to like 60, which was like where the backlash wave was. Mm-hmm. Didn't watch 61 to like 123, and then watched 124 to the end. From when Kikyo dies to the end. So I literally, as a kid, skipped all the bad episodes. So I didn't even know those existed. And I had to experience them now as an adult.
Well.
So now that I combine all the bad episodes with the good episodes, yeah. I think 7.5 is fair for me.
So, yeah, I gave it an 8 because, strong consistent when it was. But -2 from the 10 because of all the pretty bad filler.
Honestly, If I were to come up with like a list of episodes to watch and skip and then rewatch the episodes I only wanted to watch, I'd probably call InuYasha like an 8.5 because when InuYasha was good, it was very good.
Right.
And I think that's why I love InuYasha so much back when I was a kid and even now. Like I feel like InuYasha held up very well. Like it's been almost 15 years since this series has ended.
Mm-hmm.
Watching episode 1, like the animation really didn't have that old feeling, you know? It had a warm feeling, it had like a ageless feeling in terms of animation. And so when we started watching it, InuYasha, I really didn't feel like it was like, oh, we're watching an old anime. It was like, oh, we're watching an anime.
Right. I felt that.
And then like as the series progressed, the animation got so much better. And like I feel like at the end, we really hit like animation quality standards of today. Like I feel like Sunrise, the animation company, did a very good job with InuYasha.
So on the topic of animation, so yeah, when it began with the old school animation, it's like, man, this is pretty classic. I like it. And then we continue to where it gets better and better and better. And then we got to the point where they changed animations for the first time. They went to the modern animation instead of the old school style.
Right, when they switched to digital.
When they switched to digital, you could tell. You could really tell.
Yeah, definitely.
It was interesting. It was like watching like everything was like, okay, so the old school animation had like a decent amount of depth and different like separation in colors. When they switched to the digital animation, everything was pretty flat at first.
Yeah, it did feel a little bit more washed out, but like eventually we all either they got better at it or we got used to it. I can't tell which one happened.
I feel like it got better because I remember when it first happened, I was like, man, this show seems a little bit washed out and flat. But as they got better, it looked better and I enjoyed it more. And whenever some of the scenes became like pretty movie-esque, it was like, ooh, this is nice.
Yeah, I remember like during the Band of Seven arc, I feel like that's when they really got their footing with the new animation because I remember us like talking about some of the episodes in the Band of Seven. We're like, wow, this animation was like movie tier, especially the fight with Renkotsu when they're on the river and he lights up the entire river with fire and it's InuYasha and Renkotsu like clashing in fire. I remember that looked amazing.
I remember that looked real good.
Yeah, and it's like, I felt like that was when the animators probably got used to the digital setting. They were probably forced to switch and then they were like, oh, we don't really know how to use this. But then like, like after a few episodes of practice, they're like, okay, these are the colors we use so that they don't look washed out on the TV. And like these are the like keyframes and whatnot. Right. And then they got better with it.
But you know what's funny though? Thankfully, that episode that they first did the transition to digital was a pretty bad episode anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was about Shippo, man.
Yeah, it was something. It was pretty bad. I remember it.
Yeah. Oh, I remember Jockin looking real weird in it,
yeah,
too.
Dude. He looked horrible.
I was like, Jockin, what happened to you, my bro?
Oh, Jockin, you didn't look good in digital. Go back. Go back.
Go back. Can someone manually draw this Jockin for us, please?
It's like literally the meme where it's like upgrade, good, upgrade, good, upgrade, better, upgrade. Oh no, go back.
Oh God, unenhance him. We went too far.
Enhance.
So, Sheng, how would you describe InuYasha the series in one word?
In one word.
If you were given one word to describe InuYasha to somebody, how would you describe it?
That's a tough one.
Okay, what about 2 words?
It's even tougher. Let's stick to the one word. One word here. Do you got one?
My one word would be, I think. Okay, give me if I'm allowed 2 words, it would be romantic tragedy. If I were allowed 1 word, it would just be tragedy.
Because I was gonna say complicated.
Ooh.
Because
I like that.
It's not hard to understand, but there are a lot of situations that make things like the relationships are complicated. The plot of the story makes sense, but their journey is complicated.
Right, like there's a lot of individual storylines that are kind of running parallel with the main story of killing Naraku.
Right.
Yeah, actually I agree with you. I think complicated is a very good way to describe the InuYasha series, but it's also a very high compliment to the author Rumiko Takahashi for being able to write a story with so many storylines in it that we're invested in, you know? Like if there were boring storylines, we wouldn't be thinking about them all the time and the story wouldn't be complicated because we would just be thinking about InuYasha killing Naraku. But then we're so focused on things like how will Moroku cure his wind tunnel? How will
Right.
Sango like help Kohaku? Is Kohaku gonna die? Will Sango and Miroku get together? And that doesn't even begin to get into the whole Kagome, Kikyo, Koga, InuYasha thing and Hojo sometimes. Like there's so much going on.
Yeah, it's pretty complicated. Because like if it were just InuYasha and got the group just doing their thing, and we had like and we weren't so focused on like say Sesshomaru and Kagura and the Kohaku's bit, and then every now and then Naraku's story, it'd be like, yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. We'd just be focusing on InuYasha, and then we'd see these side characters every now and then. But since they don't treat them as true side characters, they're kind of like, well, they are, but they still matter to the story. And they all begin their journey. They have one objective, Naraku. Obviously, they all intervene in their journey, and it gets rough because, oh boy, actually, when I think about it now, it's pretty complicated. Sesshomaru's group, InuYasha's group, Kagura, Kohaku, Kikyo.
Yeah, and like I feel like it's just the author does such a good job of writing in these side characters with meaningful storylines that make you the reader care, or you the watcher care about them. Because if she didn't do it well, we wouldn't care about Sesshomaru, we wouldn't care about Kagura or Kanna or like Hakudoshi or Kohaku. We would only care about our main group. But the way she like frames the story and the way during the series she gives time to each of these characters, and like individual episodes are given to Sesshomaru, individual episodes are given to Sango and Moroku to develop their relationship. I feel like that's how we end up caring for them. And so now like we reach this point where we're carrying so many storylines, and I think what's interesting for me, but also what's very scary for me, is that some of these storylines have to end, you know?
Yeah.
In the course of killing Naraku, people are going to suffer or die. And we haven't reached that point in the 160 episodes we watched, but we might reach that point soon where story arcs are going to start ending. And like, I feel like that's going to be crushing.
Man, I thought Kikyo's story was done with when she was like tossed into the pit of poison. I thought she was done.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now the whole romance complication with Kikyo, InuYasha, and Kagome, it's settled now. It's Kagome and InuYasha. No worries. And then she comes back. And it's like, oh boy. Now we have this complication again, except it's now to the point where, all right, we know Kikyo is most likely back from the hints that we were given. But now we see that Kikyo is back, and Kagome is given the choice to revive her. It's like, oh man, that's tough. That's tough. Will she do it? And she does. And it's like, man, she did it. Man, that's tough.
Yeah. I feel like if Kikyo's return hadn't have been done well without any sort of emotional weight, it would have felt like a huge cop-out for like us, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But the fact that there was like this emotional turmoil between Kagome and Kikyo, and then Kagome struggling with her own self that led to the revival of Kikyo, I felt like her return was justified in a way. And when Kikyo came back, like, you know, like Kikyo had changed in her attitude, and like it's like a brand new Kikyo. So like I'm actually very glad she came back.
Me too.
At the same time though, I was content if she were to die and not come back. And I think the only way I would have been upset is if it had been some cop-out thing like, oh, Kikyo fell off the cliff, but she held onto a branch. Or she had a grappling hook and didn't die or something like that. It's like, what the heck?
Right. But yeah, going back to it being complicated, like just thinking about all the podcasts we've done for InuYasha and all the stories that we've gone through, it's like I can't think of any other word besides it being complicated. Because if anybody would tell me InuYasha is a simple story, I mean, sure, if you're just following the main group, but like you said, when we have everybody together in this story, oh boy, it's a whole jumbled mess of good times.
Right. And like for me, like my whole word is like tragedy, which I feel like encompasses a lot of InuYasha. Like a lot of these stories are just originate from tragedy or seem to be headed towards some sort of tragedy. But like complicated and tragedy, you know, I feel like really sum up the story of InuYasha very well. So good job, Shane. Good job. 10 out of 10 points.
Good job, Luffy. All right, so if me and Luffy had a choice of 2 words, complicated tragedy, there we go.
Or tragedy complicated.
Ooh, tragedy is complicated.
Ooh.
That was deep,
Okay.
wasn't it?
So moving forward, I wanted to ask, were there any moments in InuYasha that did not hold up for you?
That didn't hold up for me?
Yeah, we'll get to the did hold up after, but I want to know what did not hold up for you first.
I feel like there's going to be a cop-out answer, but like every Shippo episode ever.
Oh man, that was what I was going to say.
There we go.
The other thing that I had on my mind was Demon InuYasha early on. I always thought that he was really cool, but when I rewatched it, he wasn't really that cool, man. He was like really angsty. And Demon InuYasha, I felt like showed a weaker side of InuYasha rather than a stronger side. Like when I was a kid, I thought that Demon InuYasha meant like strength and being cool. But then when I watched it now, whenever InuYasha turned into a demon, it was kind of like him losing his sense of self and kind of just showing that he was falling into the weakness of his like demon primal blood. And that didn't seem cool to me anymore as an adult. And so I guess between that and Shippo, those two things didn't hold up for me. But I think the first one is probably because I became more mature, and the second one is because Shippo's just trash.
Yeah.
I also thought he transformed a ton more, but I guess he didn't. I think it's better that he didn't, because like it was just used for like pushing the story forward toward the backlash wave at the time.
Come on, but you know every good shonen has a cool transformation that's usually edgy.
Look, InuYasha's hair will turn golden in the final act. Don't worry about it.
Come on.
Is that you? Super Saiyan InuYasha?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yo, man, can I just, you never know. He'll just put his arm out and just say Bankai and then bam, you know?
Oh, man. Imagine that.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, I think my animes are mixing up. What's going on?
Oh, no. What's happening?
All right, Chang. Now, what moments in InuYasha held up for you?
There's a whole lot.
All right, choose your top 3, Shang.
Top 3, anything with Kohaku and Sango, Kikyo and InuYasha, and Kagome and InuYasha. Because I was a big romance guy. I still am, and like, oof, man.
Yeah, for me, definitely InuYasha and Kikyo definitely held up. Honestly, like watching the whole series without skipping 60 episodes in the middle really made the InuYasha and Kikyo like romance make a lot more sense to me, in the sense of like, like these people were in love and they thought that they got betrayed by each other, and one died and one got shot to a tree. 50 years pass. They come back and, at first they hate each other because they still remember the bad memories, but then they find out that they were deceived by someone named Naraku. And it's just like, oh, it was a misunderstanding? Then why do we hate each other? Can't we love each other then?
No.
And it's like, but I'm dead and I can't be with you. And it's so sad. And like watching it develop over the course of 167 episodes, and especially when it reached a supposed climax at 124 when Kikyo died, like I finally understood why Inuyasha felt so much pain and why like Inuyasha looked at Kikyo with all this longing in his eyes. Like it all made sense to me. Before, like, I was on Inuyasha and Kikyo's side because I just like Kikyo better than Kagome. But now I have real concrete reasons to like Inuyasha and Kikyo more than Inuyasha and Kagome.
Yo, man, when that whole episode recap of Inuyasha and Kikyo before they died, or before one died and one got pierced to a tree, I remember sending you. It's like there was this point that I felt real emotional when this song came through. It's like I felt the romance of Kikyo and Inuyasha for sure. I felt it.
Yeah, that moment where she explains to Inuyasha that they can use the Shikon jewel to turn him into a human. And when he becomes full human, her job as the priestess is done. And then she can become a human too.
She could be a normal girl. And then the song played. They were on the boat. She fell on him. They embraced.
And then they smooched all night.
Whoa. Hey. Whoa. Maybe. You never know.
You never know. It kind of faded to black,
Yeah. Jesus. Yes.
So I think that segues well into what I felt also held up really well, which is the music. I don't know if you've ever taken a time to like listen to each of the tracks individually, but Kagome's theme and Kikyo's theme are some of the best music in Inuyasha. When you listen to like Kagome's theme, you can feel like the loneliness that Kagome would feel when she sees Inuyasha and Kikyo looking at each other. And then when you listen to Kikyo's theme, you can feel the feeling of like tragedy and just like pain of wanting to be with someone you love, but you're dead and you can't. And it's like, it's expressed so well in both of those songs. And so when I like when I went on YouTube to go listen to these songs, I was just like, I closed my eyes and I was like, wow, like whoever did the music did an amazing job. And like I could literally just listen to the Inuyasha soundtrack whenever I want and I would love it every single time. And then we have like Inuyasha's theme song, which is the one that plays a lot of times when he's about to do something cool with like the trumpets, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then like Sesshomaru's theme has like this feeling of mystery. It's got like this flute that plays like really sharp notes, and like I can't explain it too well, but like Sesshomaru's theme is like clouded in mystery. But like all the music, when I hear it, I just feel like fuzzies inside. It's just so nostalgic, and it's just such good music. Like it's just very enjoyable to listen to.
So I need to do that because I feel that only towards the outros.
Now, let's talk about some intros and outros, because those were some good intros and outros. Here, why don't we do this? I'll just list out the openings of Inuyasha, and then we'll just mention which ones we like the most, and I'll list out the closings, and we'll mention which ones we like the most.
Sure.
So there were 6 openings in Inuyasha. The first opening was Change the World by V6. Opening 2 was I Am by Hitomi. Opening number 3 was Owarinai Yume by Nanase Aikawa. Opening number 4 was Grip by Every Little Thing, followed by One Day One Dream by Taki and Tsubasa. And the final opening of Inuyasha was Angelus by Hitomi Shimatani. Now, my favorite opening from this list has to be the 4th opening, Grip. I loved that opening when I heard it as a kid, and I still love it. But there's a special place in my heart for Change the World, because that one will never.
You said it.
That one will never get old for me. All right, that
go.
is when you say Inuyasha, that's what you start singing.
I was about to say Luffy. This is gonna be. I was going to say this could be a hint for mine, but Luffy, you're telling me you don't want to. I want to change the world. You don't know?
Da 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 da.
See da na 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 da na 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 na
Da 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 da. Oh God, we've just shown the world we don't know the lyrics beyond "I want to change the
Exactly.
world."
I mean, that's all that matters. I want to change the world. That's it. That's
true.
all
That's the
you
message.
really want to know.
Now, I would say the sleeper hit for me was Taki and Tsubasa One Day, One Dream, which was the opening that we ended up using for like the latter half of our Anime Rewind episodes. That one ended up being pretty good. I actually really enjoyed it.
I didn't expect to like it until we started using it. It's like, ooh, that sounds real good. It's like, the funny part is that I didn't really pay a close attention to the song until I actually listened to the intro that had the song. It's like, oh man, why does it sound familiar? Oh my god, that's our intro. No wonder it sounds so good.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember listening to it and I was like, wait a second, this intro is actually pretty legit. Like, I actually like it a lot.
Right.
And so I would say, like, that would be the sleeper hit intro that I ended up liking more now than I did it when I was younger.
Yeah, same.
So moving on to InuYasha endings, we had, I think I can't count, like 8 InuYasha endings. So they began with My Will by Dream.
Oh, that's a good one.
Fukai Mori by Do As Infinity.
That's also good.
Dearest by Ayumi Hamasaki.
Ooh.
Every Heart by Doa.
My heart.
Shinjitsu no Uta by Do As Infinity.
I love it.
Itazura no Kiss by Day After Tomorrow.
Not my strongest one, but I like it still.
Come by Namie Amuro.
Oh, I died when I listened to that one. Oh boy, I was woof.
And then Brand New World by V6. No comment, Shay?
No comment. No comment.
No comment?
No comment. I think that was the newer one. I don't know that one.
That was the newest one. The reason why I kind of like Brand New World is that it was essentially like a bookend for V6. You know, V6 did the first InuYasha opening with Change the World, and they did the final InuYasha ending with Brand New World. And I liked it from like a artistic standpoint. You know, you put the first artist at the beginning and end of the series. The song, not the greatest, but I did enjoy it.
Oh, so you're telling me they went from I want to change the world, but since they changed the world, now it's a brand new world now?
Oh my god, I think you're onto something, Shang.
Dear God. Oh
Dude.
no.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Favorite for me has to still be the favorite I enjoyed as a kid, Fukai Mori by Do As Infinity. Number 2 is Every Heart by Boa, but Fukai Mori, my favorite.
That is my jam too.
But like, Shang, I thought you liked Come by Namie Amuro.
See, the thing is, I can't really choose a favorite when I love them all a lot.
That's true.
It's just, when I heard Come, I forgot how it sounded like. I forgot that it sounded a lot different than the rest of them. So when I first heard the outro for this song, it hit me like a truck because I forgot all about it completely. So hearing it again in as an outro the first time, it was like a wave of nostalgia because I forgot that the song came from InuYasha.
Yeah. You know, actually, Namie Amuro is a very legendary singer in like the anime world. So like, I actually forgot that she did an ending for InuYasha, but I was like, wow, like, I can't believe she actually was a part of InuYasha. Like, that's so cool. But the thing is, like, My Will was also really good, and My Will played at the end of 167 in that like credit scene.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh man, like that's the first ending of InuYasha, and they're playing it again at the end where they're showing like the scene with like what everybody is doing post like getting out of Naraku's demon belly or whatever. And I was like, wow, this is such a fitting end, and it made me appreciate that song more too. But I think you're right, Sheng. I think the endings were just overall better than the intros.
They were so good. And, you know, Change the World and My Will, they balance out each other. The rest, it's tough. The outros are much stronger. I'm sorry.
But either way, music held up really well in InuYasha. Like, probably the one thing that I carry with me the most is the music from InuYasha in terms of things that I remember best from when I was a kid.
Right.
And all the songs just really hit the nostalgia point for me. How about this, Shang?
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward from what were the moments that held up for you, let's talk about favorite and least favorite characters.
Oh, Okay.
All right. For me, favorite character? Easy one, Kikyo. Least favorite character? Easy one, Shippo.
Ooh, you see, I was gonna say that, but I got one better for you.
Ooh, all right. Hit me with the characters, Shang.
All right, my favorite one, Best Girl Sangha. All right, favorite one.
Okay.
Worst one. It was gonna be Shippo. It's most definitely not Jokin, because Jokin's better than Shippo. Enough suspense. Princess Abi.
Oh my god. Coming out from left field with a real good one, Princess Abi. Yeah, she was garbage. I would put her on the same level as those random kids with those like little cannons that killed Gakusanjin.
Yes.
Like, man, talk about useless Princess Abi. I forgot about her already.
Useless. Because I'll tell you what, Shippo is bad. I will say that, and I'm sure some people will agree. But Princess Abi, boys, if you watch InuYasha like we did, boys, let's talk about it. It's bad. Nothing happened.
Wait, but you know, Princess Abi only lasted 4 episodes. We have to deal with Shippo for over 100 episodes.
So let's say it this way. When Shippo has an episode, yeah, we hate him, but at least he's kind of funny. Princess Abi, when you feel nothing for 4 episodes about a character, that tells you something.
You're right. God, she was bad. Why did she exist?
I'm telling you.
Written a story with her mother, and that was it.
I'm telling you, man.
All right. Well, that was really simple. Did you want to talk about why you enjoy Sango as your favorite character?
Easy. Number 1 Bay, Demon Slayer, brother, looking for a dead brother. Oof.
That's right. Just like me, Kikyo, number 1 waifu, dead, made out of dirt, just the way I like it. Actually, I'm not too sure. Oh, God.
I was about to say, you like them dead girls? I like them girls who look their dead brothers, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, no.
Who missed their dead brothers? There we go.
Okay. We talked about favorite characters. Favorite arc. So, the funny thing about InuYasha is, like, InuYasha doesn't have a structured arc system. Like, there's no actual story arcs except for like the Band of 7. So I kind of made some up for us. And so I'm gonna list them off, Shang, and just tell me what your favorite arc was. And we all know that the filler arc was the least favorite, so we don't have to go into that.
What are you talking about? That was some good stuff. It had like 1 good episode.
Shang, have you ever listened to our past episodes where you just have this like PTSD shake every time I mention the word filler?
Can you? But do you see the numbers of episodes from 82 to 101 of filler? Do you see why I'm that broken?
And it didn't end after that.
It didn't end.
Okay, so this is how I split up the episode. So we had the feudal fairy tale arc when InuYasha meets the entire group, Sango, Shippo, and Miroku and Kagome. That was episode 1 to 30. Then we have the Naraku arc, which is when Naraku's finally like introduced and they begin to clash with them, and that I would call episode 31 to 81. That's when like we get like the first 5 incarnations too, like Kagura, Kana, Goshinki, Kageromaru, Jiromaru. Then we entered the arc of filler from 82 to 101, where it's just straight filler, garbage everywhere, and I just want to forget about it. Then after that, we had the Band of 7 arc when we met all those Kotsu bros, and eventually we made it to Mount Hakure. So from episode 124 to 143, I would call that Naraku's return. And then starting from when Kikyo is revived from 144 to 167, which is the end of the series, I would call that the final Shikon Jewel Shard arc. And so for me, I think my favorite arc has to be the feudal fairy tale arc. It's got to be the beginning for me.
Okay, all right. I like it. My favorite arc, Band of 7.
Ooh. See, I had never seen the Band of 7 before. I actually thought the Band of 7 was filler, but it turned out it wasn't, and it turned out to be pretty good.
It was a pretty good arc as a whole.
It told a very concise story with actually really good villains. Like,
Yeah.
I really felt like I enjoyed Bankotsu as a character, and I really enjoyed Renkotsu also.
Oh,
I think Suikotsu was also really cool in terms of like his like personality disorder.
every Kotsu was good except for probably the first one that literally just got destroyed by Koga.
Yeah, what was that one? I don't even remember that boy's name.
Exactly, because he got destroyed so fast.
Yeah, and then Mukotsu was kind of creepy also, but
I forgot his name. Was it John Kotsu, Joe Kotsu, Jake?
Oh yeah, Jakotsu, like Bankotsu's like best friend.
Right. So Bankotsu was obviously my favorite because he's got a big sword. He's cool. It's kind of like Cloud, dude. But Jakotsu was really like he was a character for sure. Suikotsu, mastermind, wanted all the power. You know, yeah, he threw some bombs and stuff. Bald head, you know, whatever. But the man had a plan. He was a genius.
No, that's Renkotsu.
Oh, that's Renkotsu. All right, never mind. Just forget everything I said. Renkotsu. Renkotsu is he was a character. He was a good. He wanted to be better than his brother for all the right reasons. Well, actually for all the wrong reasons, but he tried, man. There were some good characters for sure.
Yeah, I agree. My top 3 were definitely Bankotsu, Jakotsu, and Renkotsu. Those were very good characters.
And I think the funny part is that we agreed on that whenever we covered that arc.
Yeah, we did. We did a little tournament bracket.
Yeah, we did.
And that was our agreement. What arc would you say surprised you the most? I think my comments on the Band of 7 kind of tell you what my answer is. Band of 7 surprised me the most because I had never seen it before and I wasn't really expecting too much out of it.
All right, the final Shikon Jewel Shard. Why? Because I've never seen it. Also, a lot of development that I would have never seen until now. So you can imagine my surprise at new episodes I've never seen. The ending, obviously surprised because it wasn't really an ending. It was like, hey man, a cliffhanger. You ready for season 2 of InuYasha, dog?
You ready for a season 2 of InuYasha? We don't know when it's coming.
So yeah, there's a lot of surprise in the final act for me, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, honestly, the final arc, I really enjoyed watching it again. I honestly didn't remember most of it. The only thing I remembered was the adamant barrage, but I like completely forgot that like they struggled to get to the demon, or they struggled to get to the netherworld, and like they encountered like Gozu and Meizu. I completely forgot about that.
Actually, I want to talk about real quick about everything I was surprised in the final arc.
All right, let's go.
That surprised me, all right? Adamant barrage. So, when I didn't know he had a new ability, saw that, whoa, freaked out. Kohaku and Sango, I knew it was going to happen. I wasn't too sure how, and when it did, I bawled out crying. Well, not bawled out, tears, all right? I didn't cry. No man cries, just onions, all right? The ending wasn't what I thought. I know Luffy told me, but I was like, it can't be that bad, but it was sort of surprised by that. What else? What else was there?
Did you enjoy Hakudoshi?
No, I did not actually.
You didn't like our Hakudoshi boy?
Nah, I didn't like it. No, I thought he was pretty annoying actually.
You know what surprised me? I completely forgot that Entei the demon horse got wrecked.
Yeah, dude. Yo, man, InuYasha's smart, man.
Trap him in a cave.
Hit him with a backslash wave.
Who's gonna rule the world now?
Oh, and one more surprise. Kagura's confession.
Ooh, 166. I did not see that coming either. When she was just like, I'm ready to die, like I got to see you one last time, I was like, oh boy.
Like I was watching that, but I was like kind of passively watching it too. So when I heard those lines, I like, wait a minute, back up. What did she just say?
You know, my favorite part about that is that Rin catches on immediately, right? And then Jakin's like, there's no way. You're dumb.
Right, you're stupid.
Like, oh my god, Jakin, you're so dense. I love you, bro.
I love it too, because I didn't see it either.
Oh.
Oh god, no episode ever could have prepared me for what Kagura had to say about Sesshomaru. I was not ready.
It was, yeah, that one actually took me by surprise. Like, I remember, like, there were scenes where it's like Kagura's like, I need to betray Naraku. Who do I go to? I should go to this strong man named Sesshomaru. But I didn't really think it would develop into feelings until like she just like flat out said it. I was like, what the? Really? Okay,
yeah.
I'm on board. Like, let's go.
Let's go.
Well, I guess that segment's very well into what I had to ask next, which is who was your favorite ship? InuYasha x Kikyo, InuYasha x Kagome, Sota x that filler girl, Sango x Miroku, or Sesshomaru x Kagura?
Luffy.
Do you know what that filler girl's name was?
No, I do not.
Was it Hitomi?
I don't know.
I don't remember, man.
I couldn't tell you.
It happened during that filler batch. Everything's a blur back there.
So, Luffy, who's your favorite ship?
Well, obviously, mine is InuYasha x Kikyo.
Do you know what mine is?
Yeah, it's Sota x that filler girl.
Yeah! Let's go! That's the only ship I need to happen. That's the only ship that matters.
Sota finally got that 2020 girlfriend. It happened.
And you know what's amazing?
What was it?
I'm pretty sure you know exactly what was in the end credits that you wanted me to watch.
It was. That was why I kept asking you to watch the end credits. I was like, Sheng, you have to watch the end credits because the payoff is going to be so good.
My boy, it was real.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was the most satisfying part about the credits. I was just like, that boy Soda, it wasn't all a dream. It's
It
real,
wasn't-
man.
It's real.
Okay, well, aside from Soda and the filler girl, Shang, who was your second favorite ship?
InuYasha and Kikyo.
InuYasha and Kikyo. I think my second one would probably be Kagura and Sesshomaru. I like that one blew me out of the water, but
Well,
I
wait,
could totally
what?
see it.
I don't see it on the list. What the?
Hold up. let me put it. Let me add it in really quick. Look, we just learned about it. Okay, there wasn't time.
What do you mean? Just learned about it.
Number two, my number two favorite, Sesshomaru x Kagura. Brand new development going on right here, right in front of us.
You know, I will say my favorite low key, dark horse ship says Sesshomaru and Kagura.
There we go, dark horse ship. You heard it here first. Now, the funny thing is, like, InuYasha the series revolves around the relationship between InuYasha and Kagome, which neither of us really root for. Like, we don't care about Kagome. What I found so interesting in this series is that, like, InuYasha and Kikyo kiss like 2 or 3 times. I think it's 2 times in this series.
Mm-hmm.
But Kagome and InuYasha never kiss.
Well, yeah, because she's like 15.
Are they ever gonna kiss?
No, because she's like 15.
Dude, InuYasha's supposedly 15 in demon years.
But he's a dog, so that's even more.
Oh, true. Isn't that like 15 times 7 or something like that?
Something like so.
Oh
it gets
my
worse
god,
and worse.
this is getting worse and worse. Like, yeah, I hope Kagome and InuYasha never kiss. I really hope so. Kikyo and InuYasha, you guys keep smooching it up because you're both old people. But Kagome, stay away. Stay away.
See? Because, like, I don't know, if Kagome can't get over the fact, can't trust InuYasha after he talks to Kikyo, I don't think she's ready for a kiss.
Yeah, not yet.
Because, like, the one thing that annoyed me about Kagome is, like, oh, you talked to Kikyo. What'd you talk about? Oh, we talked about this. No, what did you really talk about? Oh, okay. So you're not going to tell me? Fine, be that way. Sit. Like, all right, well, okay.
Okay, here, how about this stipulation? Graduate middle school first.
Wait,
Wait.
what? Wait,
Graduate
what?
high school first, Kagome. Then you guys can kiss.
Graduate middle school?
Well, she's in middle school in this series.
Is she really?
Yeah, she's 15.
Oh,
boy.
man. For the longest time, I thought she was 17.
You know, it wasn't too far away. Let's switch gears and let's talk a little bit about Anime Rewind Season 1. Shang, we finished 20 episodes of a podcast. What did you enjoy most about it?
What did I enjoy most about doing Anime Rewind? Well, obviously, rewatching animes that I've... Okay, hold on. Where is it? Hold on. Okay. Watching animes to see if they hold up today, or should they remain a good memory?
Oh god, Shang, you just slurred it all over the place.
Fine.
It's alright. It's a very hard thing to say. I was the only truly practiced one of the group. Yeah, honestly, my favorite thing I enjoyed was just simply rewatching InuYasha. Like, honestly, I feel like this podcast started as an excuse to watch InuYasha, and
I honestly felt that when we first started watching, and then I gradually was like, I'm okay with this.
yeah, and like as we did more episodes, I started to realize like I just love watching InuYasha, and I just enjoy talking about InuYasha and like letting other people know how much I enjoyed InuYasha. And like as we did more and more episodes, and like as more people began to listen, I was like, wow, like this is really cool. This whole podcasting thing, like getting people who enjoy the same anime as I do, and we just all share our love for InuYasha and how much we hate Kagome in one place. Like it's just great. It's just a great thing.
Oh no, we're back to the we hate Kagome. Oh no. Is that what podcast we are?
Yeah.
Is that who we are?
Don't you know this
anti-Kagome?
This is an
podcast.
anti-Kagome podcast.
Oh no. We better start making a list now because I feel like we're going to be more anti of other characters in the near future.
On top of like just rewatching InuYasha, like when we were recording episodes, like we had a lot of these fun games that came and went, and like a lot of them didn't really make it with us to the very end. But like looking back, what was your favorite game that we played in Anime Rewind?
Trash be trash.
Oh man, I think Shippo lost one of those.
He did.
And that was it. But he was a 3-time trash winner.
No! I just remembered who's worse than Shippo. Not worse than Princess Abi, but definitely worse than Shippo.
Who was it?
You remember the monkey girl that he fought against?
Yeah, that was the one he lost to. The monkey girl.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that episode was so bad. I just don't want to remember it, please.
It's so bad.
For me, I think I enjoyed Mad Libs. I thought the Mad Libs were really funny. They came out of left field, and like we just got some really weird stuff up in there.
Isn't that how Moroku Universe 69 happened?
I don't remember, probably.
I feel like
something with like Moroku and his rusty arm. I don't remember.
I feel like that's how it came to be. I don't remember.
I don't know. We talked about some weird stuff back then. Like we made some very weird InuYasha Universe 69 stuff. I remember I had this whole Kikyo movie planned out. I still need to work on that. Like I'm ready. I'm ready for pre-production. Rumiko, Takahashi, hit me up. I'll sell you the rights to the movie. It's pretty good.
That's right. It's going to be sponsored by Netflix. It's going to be live action.
Ooh, yeah, live action, definitely. And if it does well, we're going to be doing our next movie, Onigumo.
Ben Onigumo. Oh, no.
Actually, speaking of Universe 69, that kind of got me into my next point. What was your favorite bit of the podcast? We talked about so many weird things. What was your favorite weird thing?
I love that the last one is what we were just talking about.
Oh, the last one on the list that I made?
Could you go through the list real quick?
All right, so to kind of help us remember, like I bulleted some bits that I remembered off the top of my head. And so they consist of the human centipede, commando or not commando, Moroku's feudal area, Universe 69, the InuYasha Cinematic Universe, the Love Sandwich, the SSR Gotcha Baby, Renkotsu, the looks, the brawn, but not the hair, Filler Nation, and my final bullet, every Kagome bashing moment.
We haven't changed. We haven't changed.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed every Kagome bashing moment. But I gotta
is that your favorite?
I gotta say, when I was re-listening to the episode, I cracked up on the human centipede stuff. Like, I don't know why we talked about that, but the delivery of it, the shock, the horror, I feel like that encompasses just how raw and unedited the original Anime Rewind was and how little we knew about what to talk about.
Yeah.
But honestly, all of these are good.
Oh, yeah. As far as my favorite bit, it's going to be the love sandwich.
Man.
Yes.
Yeah, that sandwich was messed up. I have no idea what was going on in it.
It's not a hot dog. It's a sandwich.
I remember like we had an addition at one point and they were backpacking Koga for some reason. And then like Hojo was bread and like
Yeah,
Kikyo
Hojo
was
was
bread.
Yeah.
And then
His-
like Kagome was holy cheese or something like that. I don't remember, but that was a weird love sandwich.
Oh, what a good love sandwich. Oh, good times. Good times.
Yeah, those are some good ones. Commando or not Commando, I think held up the best. It's just that in the latter half we ran out of new characters, so we couldn't ask if people were Commando or not Commando anymore. Plus, I'm pretty sure like 90% of our characters are Commando anyway. Like,
I felt it.
like every time I was like Commando or not Commando, it was always some form of being Commando, and they just got weirder and weirder. But they were never not Commando unless they were like really old or ugly. I was like, wait a second.
Yes.
So like with Anime Rewind, when we started, we actually had like a lot of ideas. I remember one of our ideas was to watch all the episodes in both English and Japanese so that we could compare the differences. That fell apart by the second episode of Anime Rewind.
I'm glad we didn't, because if we'd have to do that for the filler, I think I would have died.
I think I would have died too. I mean, like what I realized was like watching 11 episodes in 2 weeks is not easy when the episodes are bad.
Could you? I mean, I guess technically we could have put up both instances of the show
At the same time?
and then watch them both.
Dude, I would have been so confused. Honestly, I kind of like just rewatching it in the dub. It was the most nostalgic way for me to consume InuYasha again.
Exactly, is the reason why I watched it that way.
But I feel like if I were to do another rewatch of InuYasha in the future, I would probably try watching it in sub just to kind of like see if like the emotional delivery of some of the scenes weren't any different.
I feel like Kagome wouldn't be as annoying.
Probably. Did you know that Jockin's voice is really deep in the Japanese anime?
Oh no, I don't even want to.
He's he's like a manly man. I don't know if his voice changed after episode 5 because that's as far as I got in terms of watching InuYasha in Japanese.
I'm just like thinking of like a my lord into my lord. I'm like, oh no, what is that?
My lord. Oh god.
Oh god.
Like I know like I do remember that the InuYasha Japanese voice actor did fit InuYasha very well. And I also feel like the English voice actor of InuYasha did a very good job. Like I feel like the dub was done very well. Like there's some unlistenable dubs out there, but the InuYasha dub I would consider pretty high quality.
Okay, all right.
Like did you like I cannot stand like the Naruto dub. Like that thing I cannot handle. The
Yo,
One
man,
Piece
believe
dub
it, man.
destroys my ears. Yeah, believe it. I can't do it.
Yo, man, believe it.
No. There was another idea that I had that I quickly ditched for Anime Rewind, and that was to have a brand new intro every time the series had a brand new opening.
That would have been interesting to do.
That was too much work for me, so like I just couldn't do it. You know, like when we were planning on changing the opening from Fukai Mori to One Day One Dream, that One Day One Dream thing took me a very long time to set up. Like I think I worked on that opening and getting everything timed correctly for like 3 or 4 days.
Huh, jeez.
And when we were choosing the opening, which ended up being Fukai Mori, I remember like trying out a ton of openings of InuYasha and a ton of endings of InuYasha, and like I remember at one point I was trying to put Every Heart as our intro song, but what I found is that there was just not enough of an emotional hit quickly enough in the opening like instrumental. Like the power of Boa's song was that her vocals came in so early and it was just so iconic and so beautiful.
Makes sense.
And so like whenever I tried to overlay that with us like doing our intro, it just didn't feel right. But then like Fukai Mori had that guitar like strumming intro that lasts for like 12 seconds or something. And I was like, like this was the perfect fit for our delivery when we were like, hey guys, welcome to Anime Rewind, like that. It was perfect for that. And so that's why we ended up with Fukai Mori as our intro. And then halfway through, we switched to this whole cold opener, which I thought would be really cool. And I was inspired by how starting with opening 4 and Grip, and then One Day One Dream started doing these kind of things where like they would do some talking and then they would recap the episode very briefly and then throw you into the intro. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. At the end of it, we did 2 intros, better than just one intro, right?
Right. Because like the first time we did it, I liked it for sure. But then when we talked about this new intro, it's like, okay, it sounds really good. Let's try it. And so we did it. And when I first listened to the raw edit, man, that sounds really good, actually.
I felt like we had finally reached a point at which we had become true podcasters.
The point of no return.
Actually, I don't know if we're true podcasters or not. We're probably still pretty super amateur. But like I remember like early Anime Rewind episodes, we used to struggle with like what we wanted to talk about. And, like we did a lot of recapping and just talking about the episodes and then just like making funnies here and there. And I enjoyed that, but like I felt like as the episodes continued, we started to struggle with that more. And when we changed over to like talking more about nostalgia and being more analytical and just focusing on 1 or 2 topics, I actually like felt like we started hitting our stride. I was like, wow, this is actually a good format. And like this
That's
is
right.
something that even I would listen to. Which is weird because I hate listening to my voice. Like, I
Wow,
can't stand it.
feels like what?
I'll just listen to Shang. Don't worry about it. I'll just skip over my parts.
Wow, it's just like you just mute yourself and just listen to me talk. It's like, yeah, Luffy, yeah, that sounds really good. Keep going.
Man.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, that sounds great. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Why is Shang never
Yeah.
talking in these?
Yeah.
So, what would you say, Shang, in terms of what did you learn from doing Anime Rewind, and what will you take with you going forward into season 2?
Podcasting is really hard.
Yeah, podcasting is hard. I think that's definitely what I learned.
But what I will take with me, the experience I learned from season 1.
When we first started, we were definitely like very rough around the edges. I remember we would talk for like 30 minutes before we actually started recording the episode because it was just awkward. Like you would hit the record button and it was just like, why does this feel so weird? Like I should just be talking. But now that the record button's on, I don't know what to talk about.
Ooh, the sweat. I feel it.
But then like, like as the episodes went, like we started getting better. We started like having great conversations. Like our conversations stayed on point, and we started to put out a product that I felt very proud about. And I was like, like I like this.
And then over time, it got more refined.
And now it's like if we started with a really rough diamond, it's like a slightly less rough diamond.
It's like one side is polished, the rest is still pretty bad.
Like we sanded down one sharp point and that's it. We're like, yeah, this is good. Let's just focus on this little nice sanded part right here.
Hey man, if you're good at one thing, you'll be the best at it.
Yeah, for sure. But like now we're looking forward to season 2. You got any hype for season 2, Shang?
Do I have any hype? Are you telling me that you're not? Are you hyped? Luffy, are you hyped? Season 2.
No. I am hyped for season 2, but I'm saying, is there any information we can give to our listeners to hype them up for season 2?
Oh, for the listeners. Gotcha.
Yeah, for the listeners, not for me. I'm definitely hyped. I'm ready to do season 2.
So if you guys enjoyed season 1 of Anime Rewind, then possibly be ready for season 2, because the anime we have lined up for that is going to be possibly just as good or even better. The way we're going now, it's going to be good.
Yeah, looking at our plans for season 2, I can't really tell you what the anime is going to be yet, but it's definitely one of the top animes in my list growing up. Like, what made InuYasha special to me was InuYasha was what got me into anime. once I got into anime, I experienced a whole slew of amazing series. And from all those, I'm really excited for the one we're going to be doing in season 2. So please look forward to that, you guys.
Like, InuYasha was great, and I liked InuYasha for sure, just like you. It got me into anime. But for this next anime, like, yeah, I liked InuYasha, but for an anime that I like possibly more than InuYasha, and sorry, InuYasha, you gotta go, buddy. You're on the side until I watch the final act.
Dude, I feel like the final act might re-elevate my love for InuYasha. We'll have to see.
We'll see when I get to that point. But right now, this anime they're going to be talking about in season 2 is something that I like a lot growing up, and it's obviously it's an anime that I don't really think of it as an anime when I talk about it, because back then it was just like a cartoon, right?
Yeah.
But this anime was something that I watched a lot and I grew up with. It's gonna be good.
It's a special one. All right. Like talking about favorite games from Anime Rewind, I thought, why don't we go back and revisit one last time? And so,
Which one is
Shang,
it?
for you and I got a special challenge. Let's try to recap InuYasha in 61 seconds each.
This is gonna be horrible.
Now, Shang, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? Because either way, I don't think we're going to be able to do it, but we're going to try our best.
Oh, you're gonna get 61 seconds of just pure garbage.
Okay, Shang, do you feel better about going first or second?
Let's go first. Let's go.
All right, Shang, give it to me in 3, 2, 1.
Girl is dragged into a well by a centipede. She frees a 50-plus-year-old dog boy, and then they fight the centipede. Girl breaks precious jewel into many pieces and begins their journey to find every piece. Dog boy gets a sword from the underworld that was inside his eye. Along the way, they recruit a lecherous monk, a demon slayer who's looking for her dead brother, and a slightly annoying fox child. They go across the world fighting demons, all right? They meet up with the dog boy's brother every now and then. They fight. They learn that this evil bad guy that they don't like is collecting jewels. They try to fight him. Along the way, they meet other people who are also looking for jewel shards, but they fight them for it. Some of them, other people get to keep theirs, and they eventually come together to fight the big bad guy they don't like. But they don't fight him yet because they were in a stupid belly, and yeah, they don't actually beat him.
Wait, Shang, did you just sum up all of InuYasha in 50 seconds?
I don't know.
All right, Shang, I'll get the middle part that you missed.
Go for it.
So InuYasha gets his sword, and we realize that his sword's not that good, so he goes out to make it stronger. He learns the wind scar. He learns the backlash wave. He turns into a demon a ton of times, and he's like, I don't like being a demon, though. Backlash wave. And then he learns a red Tetsaiga. It causes Naraku to disappear. Then we enter a series of 21 episodes of filler, and it's a very painful experience. Then we make it out of there, and then there's the Band of 7. They're like, yeah, we're here to guard Naraku. Don't go to Mount Hakure. Then InuYasha and the gang beat him up, and they're like, oh, man, but we were kind of cool, man. And then they make it to Mount Hakure. Naraku boots Kikyo off a cliff. InuYasha's really sad. But then Kikyo comes back, and like Naraku's really big and buff. He absorbs a bunch of demons, casts out the weak ones, and he's like, I got dragon legs on my back now.
Oh, no.
And then he spawns another incarnation. The incarnation splits into 2 kids. One kid rides a demon horse, the other one holds a blue ball. And then eventually they get stuck in that demon's belly, and then they break out. Oh my god, we did it, Shang! We
actually
summarized InuYasha in 2 minutes, not in chronological order, but we did it.
Within 2 minutes. That's fair.
Oh my god. So if someone really needs to know what InuYasha is about, just take those 2 minutes that we just spent and just give it to them.
No. You gotta. They have to watch it. We can't just spoil it for them.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
You literally have to tell them, all right, this is a synopsis for InuYasha. This is how it starts, okay? So I know the anime is called InuYasha, but it starts with a girl being dragged in a well by a centipede. Let that sink in. You're interested? All right, we'll start watching it then.
Start watching it. There's a jewel in there.
What?
Yeah, there's a jewel. It breaks into a lot of pieces.
Yeah. You know the Dragon Balls? Worse.
Yeah. It's like one Dragon Ball, but shattered into a ton of pieces. Oh.
That's right.
And if you put all the pieces back together, you get a wish.
That's
oh.
right. You still interested? All right, go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. All right, now you go watch it.
Done.
All right, so wrapping everything up, in 2020, would you recommend InuYasha to people who have not seen the series before?
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah, I definitely would too. Actually, I feel like InuYasha is still better than a lot of series that are going out there these days.
Even though I would recommend it, I would recommend it with and without the filler.
Yeah, I would recommend that you skip the filler. Yeah, skip the filler. Don't watch it. It really adds nothing. But watch 162 and 163 because those are the best fillers of InuYasha.
So we'll do it like this. If you want to watch every episode of InuYasha, go ahead. But I would also recommend, I strongly recommend, especially seeing this list of episode 82 to 101 of nothing but filler, I would recommend watching a lot of the main stuff. We'll throw in some good old filler, not the bad stuff, the good filler in there, so you can enjoy those too.
Yeah, pretty much skip the filler. So, Shang, there is one final question that we have not answered on this podcast, and it was a question posed back in episode 2. It made us all very confused. We spent like 10 minutes debating.
Okay.
And the question was, is Kagome commando or not commando? And with the information that we learned recently and throughout the series, I'm gonna say she's not commando, man. I gotta be safe. I don't want the FBI knocking down my door right now.
Hey man, I don't know. She's mostly in the feudal area, man.
That's true. Okay. Yeah, she's in the feudal era. So she's in the feudal era, and like, we'll give her like plus 3 years also. She's 18 now. Is she commando or not commando?
Like, I will say that, yeah, I like to think that she's a modern girl. She likes to have her clothes clean, but if she's only bringing one pair of clothes, she eventually has to be commando, right?
Yeah, I mean, her backpack's full of textbooks. Where are you gonna put them clothes, huh?
All right, I'm going commando.
I have a theory, okay? The theory is, when she travels between worlds through the Bone Eater's Well, for some reason the underwear just doesn't make the journey, but everything else does.
Oh no.
And that's
the cops
why.
are at the door.
Oh my god. Oh, please, officer, I'm doing a podcast, please. I gotta go, Shang. I gotta go.
I'm not too sure if this is a good question. Oh god.
Shang, I gotta go. Thanks so much for listening to Anime Rewind Season 1. We'll see you guys all in Season 2. Until next time, my name's Luffy.
And my name is Shang. And thank you for listening to Anime Rewind Season 1.
And I'm in jail.
僕らにどんな世界が道なき道の先に待ってる声なき声はこのままどこにも届かずに消えてゆくの忘れない消せない今日の後悔も投げ捨てがむしゃらに明日を目指す朝日に照らされたキス笑い合って終わることない旅を続けよう向かい風としていながらそれでも進む理由があるだから友よ置いてくためだけに生きるのはまだ早いだろう身につけたもの抱え込んだもの手放した時始まる何かうまく生きてくレシピを破り捨てて